Welcome to AlbionTV presents the AO Daily Show, your source of real news in an unreal world. Keep me up to date on the latest news, events, and the great community of Albion Online. Today is Friday the 26th of June, 2020, and I am your host, the Shozen one, and joining me today, as always, Bogul. Bogul.
Hello. What's up?
Wow, we had for a Friday, we got a lot of news.
Yes. The biggest thing ever. Well, no, not. Since like 2 weeks, right?
The biggest thing since 2 weeks ago. Delivered today on a Friday. Nice. Yes, we do have a developer talk, and it's pretty good. It's with Retro Man. He shows off some great new weapons and some skills. I have a lot to say on some of them. I really like the idea overall of it. Seems like we're trying to raise the skill cap here in Albion.
Nice.
I'm excited. It should be good. And we're going to play that. Mm-hmm. But we also have some other things that we need to talk about, as well as we have
brief PSAs.
Yeah, some PSAs. We had a patch earlier in the week, correct? We had like a smart patch.
And then we had like a smart patch? I like that word. I like it.
It was a very smart patch for the smart cluster queue. It came here, the 14th one, and it's not been talked about that much. People are very quiet about it, which I think is a good thing. Like, if people aren't talking about the changes to cluster queue, it means it's not pissing them off. Because every other time there's been changes to cluster queue, we've heard.
Oh my god, yeah.
We hear a lot. We hear a lot about it. This sounds like it's working, and I have to eat a little bit of crow on this one. Mm-hmm. As I did say, I didn't think this was going to work. And I was a little bit harsh on my criticisms of the cluster queue because I do have a fundamental issue with some of the mathematics involved on a philosophical level. But guess what, Bogul? I don't care if it works.
I mean, like, today
I just don't care if what they do fixes the problem, and I don't have to, like,
I mean, it doesn't fix N+1, right? Which is part of the reason why it exists. But I mean, we had the ZVZ show today. We had it yesterday. We watched some ZVZ on Tuesday as well, and it's we didn't see any sort of manipulation shenanigans going on. I think we saw some maneuvering today with Derek and Final Order.
Maneuvering, yeah. Wasn't that interesting that instead of all just lining up at the same door, we saw people maneuver? I mean, it's not the first time we've seen people try to get around to the backside of a queue before. Certainly not.
Right, so they left one on the southwest, and then they went around 2 zones and tried to zone in from the northwest, and then that caused some more people to actually get zoned, and that was an interesting, I think, attempt. But
yeah, I think what they were trying to do was get the people who were currently cluster queued to enter the. So we saw one side come with overwhelming forces,
right?
Enough to cluster queue it themselves, right?
Uh-huh.
And we saw the group they were trying to face leave, go all the way around to the group that was currently clustering in, and tried to get there and hit them in the backside before the team is currently inside got out and attacked them. It didn't quite work perfectly, but you could see that there was some kind of machination going on, and I liked to see this thinking outside the box as far as we don't just have to man up against you one-on-one. We can try to use some of your numbers against you. We can try to make you make some choices. And
I like it too, yeah.
Yeah, and it was good. And so far, we haven't seen that I'm leaving, coming back in to kick you out. I'm leaving, coming back in to kick you out. And that's good. That's really good. Yes. So, moving on from that, Bogul, we had an announcement earlier in the week. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, no.
We know the name of the new
into
expansion.
The Star Wars theme on that one.
We know the name of the new expansion. It's Rudolph.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
No.
Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I think that's enough notes. I can't do any more. If I do any more, they're taking us down. So let's play the Rise of Avalon trailer.
Teaser trailer, sadly.
It's a teaser trailer. It's a teaser. It's just a tease.
Oh, it's going so fast I couldn't even.
It's too fast. It's gonna be over before you even hit the button and make it loud.
Yeah. Shh. Rise of Avalon. New expansion name.
It's good.
Not Rudolph. Not Rudolph.
Not Rudolph.
Sorry.
Not Rudolph. Richard, Rudolph. We were both Richter. We had some good names in there. And they went in a, how do we say it? Like a, not a naming name. They went with like a tagline this time.
I mean, the last one was Queen already, which is not strictly a name, right? We were used to names.
Queen is a title, yeah.
From whatever, Arthurian lore, sort of. Merlin.
Mm-hmm.
But
this is the 17th letter in the alphabet. And it's the first time in 17 content updates that we've had more than one word in the name of our title.
And that's why you should wear a hat, otherwise aliens eat your brain. What?
Are we talking about 5G again, Bogul?
No, we don't do that here on the show. That's too weird. Anyhow,
this is stupid. By the way,
yeah,
I'm pretty darn sure the Albion Earth is flat. Like just straight flat. I don't think there's a hill.
I think a lot of things in the Albion world also don't have backsides. So like a house, right? It has like 3 sides that you can look at.
No, Bogul, I've looked around. They all have sides. There's sides for everything. We could rotate almost. I don't think there's anything that I've seen that doesn't have a backside. I've even been outside some of the cities and looked around the cities. Do you know there's buildings you can't see in the cities?
Ugly backsides.
Bridgewatch is freaking awesome. If you can like, I should stop talking. Somebody went to a lot of work in some of the art in Albion, and it's very impressive and it's very cool. Some of the things are a little flat, such as portals when you look at them from the backside, but that's because it's a 2D image, right? But all the buildings are real. I don't want anybody thinking like this is like stagecraft here, guys.
Okay.
All right.
One day maybe. I mean,
right.
with that trailer and like the cinematics of this, right? If you can see the moving of this, and it's I think shout out to Elsa, right, for some cinematographic masterpiece. Delivery
very
here.
Good angles this time, and I we have to make a correction to an earlier story. Bogul, go ahead and throw up the images.
Yeah. I need to look up.
Okay.
I'll find it. You start your thing. Yes.
All right. So I noticed some similarities between the blocking of these words and the blocking of some movies I've watched recently on Disney Plus. And I made a joke that Elsa was watching far too much Frozen and Frozen 2 and may have run across a episode of Star Wars accidentally on Disney Plus because look at the screen, guys. If you can't and it was a funny joke. It turns out Elsa didn't do that.
No.
Elsa made the video and then made blockage that looked far too much like Age of Empires.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And they're like, can somebody fix this? It looks too much like Age of Empires.
So he was like, all right, don't rip off that game. Sorry. Wrong game. Or different. All right. Oh.
But so it just goes to show you how incredibly hard it is to be unique with like signage, guys. There's nobody's getting in trouble for this. It's just a fun thing to pick on, and I wanted to pull Elsa out from under the bus
after we threw him under it. So
I threw him under brutal. I even backed it up a couple of times, and no, he did. I want to say he did great on that video. Like yes. I love the stuff he's been doing with videos lately. Our videos have increased quality. Every time he does a new one, it looks better than the last one he did. So thumbs up to him on that. But yeah, that's not his fault. And he likes Frozen, but who doesn't like, let it go? I mean, come on, right? Can't we all just let it go and move on to the next topic?
Wow. Devtalk. Avalonian weapons. Combat designer Michael Swan discusses the new Avalonian weapon lines coming with the Rise of Avalon update. Today released just 6 hours ago-ish. Next major content update for Albion Rise of Avalon will arrive in August. All right. Teaser trailer we just watched. In our newest Devtalk, combat designer Michael Schwan discusses the all-new Avalonian weapon lines. And I think we might want to watch this and then look a little bit more into the write-up, because there might be things we could have missed. Anything else you want to introduce this with, Shozen?
We have a lot of new weapons coming. I think we're going to get a lot of dev talks.
I'm looking forward to the actual patch notes of this, but it's.
I know you want patch notes. You're not getting patch notes. August, Bogul.
Chat immediately goes, I think nature stuff is ugly. All right, let's watch this in high resolution and look whether or not the nature stuff is really ugly or not. But no,
it doesn't look any. Yeah, compared to other nature staffs.
Let's play this. 11 minutes. It's see you soon.
Okay.
Hello and welcome to another Albion Online Dev Talk. Today I'm excited to talk to you about the new upcoming Avalonian weapons. So this is gonna be a major combat extension, the biggest one we had since the introduction of the artifact level 3 weapons. And we have 15 new weapons, each with a new cool ability and new mechanics, and 3 new offhand on top of that. So there is 1 new weapon per weapon tree. That means 1 new mace, 1 new spear, and so on. And also we have 1 offhand per weapon branch. So 1 hunter offhand, 1 mage offhand, and 1 warrior offhand. All of these new items are available from T4 onwards up to Tier 8. And each of these items has a unique look and a unique model. And this means there's 19 new awesome looking models in the game coming. And let's directly dive into some of the abilities of these new items. The first one I want to talk about is the Lucent Hawk. This is the Avalonian bow. Upon activation, you go in this turret style mode where you can become a sniper that can keep shooting skilled shots as long as the buff is active. And the cool thing is you can aim each shot individually. They each have its own cast, and it's a long-range, high-damaging skill shot. And it's really nice to snipe enemies from the back row. But if you overcommit and go too deep into the enemy lines, they can easily interrupt you, and then you waste all your ammunition. And there's a nice risk versus reward in the skill involved. Then we also have a new Avalonian sword. It's a big two-hander called the Kingmaker. And its ability allows you to swing the blade around you in a circle, knocking up all the enemies into the air. And while these enemies are still in the air, you're then slamming your weapon down in a vertical line, hitting behind you and in front of you. So not only is this an AoE interrupt, but it is a high damaging ability at the end, where it's really mattering where you position yourselves and how you rotate yourself to make really the most out of it and hit multiple targets at once. Next, we have the Avalonian Curse Staff. It has the ability called Inner Shadow. You can cast it on any player, ally or enemy, and you summon a shadow of that player depending on the type of armor that player wears. So how does it work? So say you cast it on an enemy with a cloth armor. You then summon this Avalonian mage who attacks with this huge thunderstorm, dealing massive magic damage. And you can also instead cast it on a leather armor user. If you do that, then you summon a different shadow, which does a lifesteal aura, attacking enemies and also healing up the caster himself. Or you simply can cast it on a plate wearer. And if you cast on someone with plate armor, you summon this tank shadow, who slows enemies around him, and after a short delay, slams down his big weapon and nullifies most of the enemy's armor. There's a huge armor shred on that ability. And the cool part is, the shadow you summon depends on the target you pick on, not on the armor you have equipped. So the cool part about this is that even if you wear cloth armor, you have access to all shadows in one fight, depending on what target you cast it on. There's a lot of skill expression with this ability and a lot of knowledge how you can make the best out of these shadows you have available. And then we also have the Avalonian spear, which is a one-handed lance. This has an ability where you can charge into enemy lines, and after a short cast time, you charge in and become unstoppable during this charge, meaning no CC or anything can interrupt you, you just charge through. And additionally, any enemy you hit, you will purge their buffs. So you can use it either offensively to like try to secure a kill and remove the defensives of that target, or you can also use it to initiate a counter engage to remove the momentum from the enemies, removing their active buffs when they try to commit to your side. So there's a lot of versatility in this ability, and it makes a big difference how you use it. And another cool thing about it, the lance is a one-handed weapon, so this means you can combine it with various offhand combinations. In general, 1/3 of the Avalonian weapons are one-handed to allow for more interesting combinations with offense, even on the high-end artifact items. The Avalonian nature staff gets an ability called Soul Link, where you can link two targets together, and depending on what kinds of target you choose, you get a different effect. So what does that mean? That means that if you target two allies, then this means they get an effect where all the damage they receive is shared evenly across both targets. And on top of that, all healing they received is also shared evenly and also amplified a bit. So if you have hot active on both targets, then both heal each other and it's even amplified, so you have a higher healing output. Or if you cast it on an enemy and an ally, then in this case, the healing received for the enemy, a chunk of that is always stolen and directly transferred to the ally. So you can absorb some of the healing this enemy receives and heal up your own ally. Then the last combination is if you cast it on two enemies. In this case, they also share the damage received, but also the damage is amplified. So you can use it offensively when you try to break through the enemy defenses. You can cast it on a Kloss user and a tank. And then even if you attack the tank, then a lot of the damage is sent over to the Kloss user as well. So there's a lot of ways how to use this ability. We imagine it's going to be more relevant in small scale, but we're really excited and would like to see how you guys can make the best out of it. But keep in mind, with all these abilities we've shown you today, they're still in testing and production, so some of the final behavior might be different when they hit the live server. But I think we can give you in general a good idea what direction we are going in and what of the kind of cool mechanics we are right now testing and what you can expect from the next update. But let's talk about how you can obtain these new items in the game. They are pretty similar to the Avalonian armors in terms of crafting. So there is Avalonian new artifacts that you need to craft them, and these artifacts can be obtained from Avalonians, and they can also be created from Avalonian shards. However, with our new update, Rise of Avalon, we also will increase the amount of Avalonian shards in the world to make these weapons not too rare and to have more players use them. And on top of that, as a side note, you also can obtain Avalonian shards in the new Roads of Avalon, where you also can fight Avalonians, and there's a nice incentive to explore these roads and also have the chance to get the ingredients for the new Avalonian weapons in there. So the crafting side is rather straightforward with these weapons, but we are also planning to make a big change for the Destiny board for the first time. So far, all the combat specializations for artifacts have been always concentrated into one node. So for example, swords have one node that's called a sword artifact specialization. And whenever you use any artifact, you level up these nodes. With the next update, we want to split this one node into one node per weapon. So this means there's a node for Clarent Blade, one node for Carving Sword, and one node for Galatine Pair. So don't worry, you keep your progress. So all the progress you had for the combined artifact node is taken out and divided evenly across the new nodes. So for instance, and because these combined nodes had 3 times the fame requirements. This means if you had your artifact specialization for swords on level 100, this means that on the next content update you will have Clarent Blade, Carving Sword and Galatine Pair also on level 100. You will also get a new node for specializations, that's for the Avalonian weapon called the Kingmaker. This one will be at 0 because it's new and you have to level it from the scratch. We are also releasing a bunch of combat balance changes. So one change we have been hinting at the past is there's already this new arcane staff W spell called Mimic. So the way it works is you can cast it on any player, and depending on the weapon type he has, you get a different ability. Say you see anyone with a fire staff, independent of what W spell this player has selected, when you cast it on him, you know on a fire staff you always get a firewall. And then you can use a firewall. Or if you see someone with an holy staff, you know you always get an holy orb. So it's independent of what the player has actually equipped to make it easier to use and more reliable on what what spells you can get with it. And another big focus for this balance patch will be the 1v1 meta, where we are making various adjustments to make sure that 1v1 meta is in a more healthy state, because it had a bit of a backseat so far. So the typical contenders are like solo healers, shouldn't be as sustainable as they are right now. We are also looking at warbow kiting, how strong is it, we're probably reducing it a bit, and also some outlier items, like for instance cultist rope, we are also looking at it to make it less of a hard counter to certain builds. In general, we want to reduce hard counters and have more soft counters to have it less rock, paper, scissors, especially in a 1v1 meta. And the reason why we are having a look at the 1v1 meta for the next update is, of course, our next also big content update has another feature called the Corrupted Dungeons, where you can go in and fight other players, and the PvP scenarios are always max 1v1. But we will go into more detail in another dev talk. So for this dev talk, just know that we are already looking also at the meta adjustments to make this feature really shine at the best it can. That's all for today. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys in another Albion Online Dev Talk.
Wow.
That's very enlightening on a couple of those subjects, Bogul, I would say.
Well, definitely. It's I think we got a good portion of what's to come. It's not all 15. Right? It's not all 15.
No, it's like it's just a few. I mean, like you have your curse, you have the nature, we have that crazy lance. I like somebody just came out and said the Leroy Jenkins lance.
Yes.
I think that's perfect, and it got me thinking to how we do have a bunch of T8 weapons that have specific names.
Yes.
That's a good one. Leroy's lance. I could deal with that.
I mean, these names were from players or guilds who, I think SBI I think during Alpha, they sort of said, oh, you know, let's just name things after players or guilds. And then people actually, you know, want stuff. And they're like, oh, now we have to keep it in game for a while. Also have birds again. 1 second. All right, I'm back.
Again, Bogul, another one of those damn jokes. I don't think that it's Twitch appropriate. Gosh darn it. I'm going to have to write these down for like a stage show somewhere that's only about video game jokes. Only super nerds will get like.
But yes, so these weapons, what do we do? Let's read the text version first before we go and look at a few scenes of these, because I think we can see a few more cool things there on the video. Yeah, first major weapon expansion. Albion Online. I don't know. Is that really first since the release of level 3? All right. Okay. All right. That makes sense. Designed by the I read it as designed by the Avalonian faction, so we have an Avalonian.
Oh, interesting. Dude. I like that. Yeah.
15 weapons, 1 for each family, right? That's important, and 3 offhand, well, of course, and available from tier 4 to 3.8, so 90 different models. I mean, it's in line with what we have, right? With all the other weapons, and
that's a lot.
A lot of models.
A lot of work. Holy cow!
I mean, it's to be fair, these are like fancier versions of the same base design, right? But still, probably a whole set of work. Yeah. What else? Change the meta. Oof, yeah. Well, of course. Do I sound mean, Shozen, when I go like this?
No. I mean, we know it's going to change. It's clearly going to change. That's the point, right? That's what we're hoping to get out of this is changes to the way things are done at all the meta levels, like in 5v5, ZVZ, 1v1. We want to mix this shit up. And to say yes, pointing out the obvious is the obvious. Of course, there's nothing wrong with that. Bogul, do you hear the things I say about these poor guys?
All the best.
Yeah, because I care. It's because I care about them.
And
I
then,
only hurt the ones I love.
And then here's some image with the curse staff, the bow, the sword, the nature staff, the new shield, and the lance.
Mm-hmm.
Some examples here is the written up form again. For the bow, high impact, long range skill shot in a row. So it's like pew pew pew. Maybe the new pew pew weapon. Do we have one of these? I mean, I think.
Okay, so like they're talking like a skill shot bow that is very close to what you get with the arcane and well, not the arcane, the frost, where you're dropping those constant icicles down to try to skill shot somebody with a slight delay. You know, that kind of thing might be what we're looking at with the bow, where you're able to skill shot quickly.
I mean, it's in the video, right? So he goes stationary and then he just sort of charges up and then keeps shooting. And then if you leave that unchecked in the backline, it's probably pretty dangerous.
Well, it kind of looks like I don't know if you can change the direction of it. That's where I go. Is it I don't know.
I mean, you aim, right? You shoot, you aim again.
Yeah, we aim. Okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see how it's all based on the power of these weapons and how much damage they do and what it actually does. And these are all concepts, and the concepts themselves look pretty cool. Like I like I
think they're pretty advanced.
The two-handed sword.
I think they're pretty advanced concepts already, though.
Oh, some of them are, yeah. Now it's all tweaking. You know, that's what we're seeing here is that they have to tweak these skills to make sure that they're not overpowered or, going to Shrek people. Because right now, we can use the Kingmaker, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
It bops everybody up in the air and then does straight line damage on either side. That skill itself of bopping everybody up is very useful. And you have to balance how long people are up there, how much, damage they take, all these things. Because unlike a lot of the other bops, you have to wander over there and do it. So, you're not sending something at them. You're going in there, you're risking something yourself and then going and hitting the damage. So that damage you deal should be commensurate to the fact that you're risking yourself by going in to get that stun.
Right.
Can't be so powerful that you one-shot 6 guys when you hit them.
No. I mean, I don't
hit with that arcane beam,
I have to say that this one seems a little weird to me. It's like a AoE knock-up, and it's like, all right, well, maybe I'm just too bad at swords to understand this. But that one is, I have to say, the least favorite so far I have. All the others were kind of maybe easier, in my mind at least. The next one up is the Inner Shadow from Curse.
Yeah, that one was pretty cool. But it has, how do I say it? It's like this is another one. You have no idea how effective this is going to be because it doesn't seem like it stays very long. It's not like what it is you summon a pet basically, right? We can
I think it's an AoE. It's a PBOA. What's that term? Where it's a ground target damage ability. It's not a pet.
So we could instead of a pet, we'll call it a totem.
That thing.
All right. So in games, we've often called that stationary thing that does a particular item, a totem. So it produces 3 types of different totems. Either it's the cloth, the leather, or the plate totem, and each one of them has a specific effect based on what you target. In line, with what a class like that would do. It seems to be.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
Now, go ahead.
they look different, right? But they are very short. Like that's what surprises
That's why
me.
I that's the one where I go with this tank one, because it's they said to can you roll it back on the tank for us, please? And so we can actually listen again.
Listen, all right, we can the whole thing. All right, let's do.
Massive magic damage. And you can also instead cast it on a leather armor user. If you do that, then you summon a different shadow, which does a lifesteal aura, attacking enemies and also healing up the caster himself. Or you simply can cast it on a plate wearer, and if you cast on someone with plate armor, you summon this tank shadow, who slows enemies around him, and after a short delay, slams down his big weapon and nullifies most of the enemy's armor. There's a huge armor shred on that ability. And the cool part is, the shadow you summon depends on the target you pick.
So sounds like it's
an armor shred with.
It's an armor shred. It's a stun and an armor shred.
Right.
A delayed armor shred. Okay. All right. So it sounded like when I first listened, and even the second time I listened, like it was kind of supposed to be more of a tanky thing, because he kept saying it as a tank, and that means it should absorb damage. No, it's there to slow, to make sure people can't get away from it, hit the stun, and then as it hits that, it hits an armor shred. I would say that's almost the most offensive skill.
Scary. I mean, think if you cast that on the enemy front line with a bunch of tanks, and you just shred the whole front line of armor.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that sounds fun.
This looks like the ZVZ one there. Yeah.
Cool.
I like it. I'm going to be bringing that one with me. I'm glad I have my curse leveled. Do we want to move on to because I think we talked about the lance just briefly. Do we want to talk about it a little bit more?
I mean, it says one-handed lance. That's important, right?
That's cool, yeah.
You charge and you are unstoppable and immune to CC. And when you hit an enemy, you purge all their buffs and deal damage. I mean, do you think...
armor you have equipped?
So do you think it's really going to be like... Imagine ZVZs and suddenly you have 5 lances charging at you and you're like, oh, shoot. Or is that just like, all right, let's engage, and then something happens, and then suddenly 5 lances charge from the enemy midline into your front line and just remove a bunch of buffs there, or
purge you completely? Yeah, but there's other. It's not like this is the first time players have experienced purge in ZVZ.
No.
It's going to be effective. It's going to take up a lot of that locust position.
Yeah.
But you might see, instead of it removing people who use locust already, you might see some of those guys who already use some DPS skills because they like that kind of play style, jumping into this more. This much more is that I'm going in to win it, boys mentality than the I'm going to be cool, chill here in the back and make sure that I protect all your asses mentality of a locust player. This is definitely somebody who wants to jump in, wear the cape on their back and say, follow me to the end, through the breach. That's the guy that's going in there on that one.
Like 70% of the shot callers then? This way.
Oof.
No?
Yeah. No, this could be a very good... The problem with this is, Bogul, is I think the person who does this is going to be exposed. They're going to go... It's really the problem is with a lot of the shot callers, you see them use the soul scythe because they get to do this without getting into damage.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have to put themselves into harm's way to tank.
Right.
You can see that, like,
but he's
Grove
going
Keepers,
right in,
yeah, have a slightly different position, and they're often your off tanks. You will see primary shot callers using Grove Keeper, but not as often. And the reason for that is because as a shot caller, you kind of want to be able to see 2 things at once. You want to be able to see what's coming in and what the hell those idiots are doing behind you. Now, I hate to, but Soul Scythe offers a really good ability to do that. This means that you're seeing what you are doing to the enemy. If you're in there as an offensive natured spell, like going in there to attack, and that's not always great. We see a lot of times when shot callers overextend, and then their teams get in trouble because the shot caller is forward telling his team to push to get to them and to do the things that they see and react to the things that they see when the actual fight is a screen and a half behind them.
I'm just excited that there seems to be a reason to use a shield.
There's a weapon that you can use a shield for here now. Go ahead. Get your grape. Good guys out.
So Link, Nature Staff. This apparently, this is more complicated.
Yeah,
temporarily links two targets together?
Well, we were talking about, one of the things it feels like is we're getting a little, as we've seen more and more of these spells, because these aren't the only new spells that we've heard of. We've heard about some other ones with Mimic and stuff along the way. I feel like they're trying to raise the skill cap of Albion. And we've talked about this before, too, in that we've seen the stand times reduced. We've seen reaction times reduced. I feel like Albion is working its way to slowly increase its skill cap as the players in Albion have just gotten better. The technology has reduced the delays in hardware.
Nice. We finally have the technology. So, I'm so sorry.
We can make it faster. We can make it stronger. We can make it better. Yeah, it only took $6 billion.
What?
No, we're
yeah. But sorry, I had
6 billion gold, 6 billion silver, 6 billion silver. I'm sorry, I got like my units of measure off. I believe it was 6 billion silver that was stolen. All right, let's move back.
Nature Staff. I mean,
Nature Staff. Yeah, that
link
that
an enemy.
Tagging, we talked about this before the show.
Yeah.
This was the one that we brought up as the interesting one that really steps out because it's going to be hard to use correctly. This is a 5v5 weapon.
You think?
This is clearly a 5. Oh yeah. How do you use this in a CVC?
Link
How do you use it in 2v2s?
Link a two frontline tanks and then curse armor shred them and then
actually no, Bogul, I'm wrong. Totally usable in 2v2s. Actually, this might be the best use for. I'm rebalancing this weapon in my list of skills, so it's going up. It just went up 1 point. 2v2 uses are real.
Okay.
2v2 uses might be the best use for this one as a nature. But we were talking about how you heal as a nature healer, what this removes from you as a nature healer, and how you're going to have to work it. And it's you'll be able to keep your breeze, you'll be able to keep your heal over times, but you have to make the right, not your big one. Well, you can still use the save on the Graveguard helms, but I feel like this really does put you into a place, right, where you're going to now be, I don't know, you have to be better as a healer. Like all three of those can be useful in a 5v5. All three of those can get you killed if you're doing that at the wrong time. But if you can learn to be one of those healers that can not only affect your team when you're under duress, but also when you're making a push for offense, shit, that could be incredibly effective. But you got to be good. You can't be just one of those guys who's known for hitting Q all day long. You know what I mean? You can't be a spam healer. You have to be able to read the fight.
Yeah.
You have to be able to understand the momentum coming and going. You have to be able to remember your timer. This is raising the skill cap, man. And depending on the effectiveness of this, I want it to be good, but hard to use. You know what I mean? I want it to be like, oh, damn, they got somebody who can use that skill? Shit. Good luck, boys.
I mean, you might see small-scale fights more often because of the, Rods of Avalon, right? So that's, I think we might see this thing quite often here. I mean, it says damage with 2 allies. If you cast it on 2 allies, it's evenly shared. The damage is now evenly shared between 2 targets. And the healing received is shared and amplified?
And amplified, yeah. So that makes it so against some of those dive comps, or like not dive comp, but like a drain comp that's trying to dot you all over time. Here it gives you a tool to handle that.
Ally and enemy, some of the enemy's healing received is stolen and transferred to the ally. So if you cast it on somebody who isn't getting healed, it doesn't do anything?
No, but if you pre-cast that on the dudes about to get dove, cast that on the healer as you're diving the healer.
Oh, right. It takes it takes away from that.
Yeah. Okay. Like that's what you're trying to do. But I imagine that in order for it to take away the healing, the other target needs to be damaged in the first place. I'm just guessing. At least that's how I would balance that sucker.
And then if you cast
I'd make it so you can't just put it on yourself when you're full health and be like, yeah, just screw it up his healing, bro. No, make the skill cap high. Make it useful.
Damage taken is evenly shared with 2 enemies. Oh, okay.
And Amplified. That's the one that you go, ooh. Because then if you have one of those, like...
Can you link a Clothy and a tank and just bomb the tank, and then the Clothy goes,
gets desperate. Like, this is one of those situations where you could drop it on, like, the Clothy and, like, the healer and the guy you're diving. Have one guy on the healer just as an annoyance, like that guy that they can drop every 3rd heal on themselves to deal with it. But if you're also putting any pressure on the healer and attacking your dive choice, like the crossbow or something like that, you can really make this a little bit more painful. Or if, say, this is a situation where you can drop it on 2 guys who are the target of an AoE, really increase the damage that those 2 are taking while putting the
would that work with AoE escalation? So if one target stands in AoE escalation, the other one, that could be nasty. If that's not ew. All right, let's move on.
But honestly, I think it's cool. Like, and this is just the idea of like options.
New stuff,
increasing that skill cap, making people think more, and I want to see more of that. And honestly, that in our last interview with Retro, that was the thing I pulled away. Like that he wants to do more. Like it feels like somebody went and like they unlocked his handcuffs, and now he's getting like that mad scientist going on inside of his head. He's proven himself for the last 3 years, and they're like, no, do whatever the hell you want, man. Go wild. Yeah. Oh yeah. Copy any spell in the game. Go for it. Sure. Sounds like a great one. Balance that one. I dare you. And he's like, okay, let me get into my office. Where's my whiteboard? Boop, 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 boop. He starts going away. And I like it. I like it a lot. I think it's going to be a lot of fun for Albion and seeing where these new skills come out. And we haven't even seen many of them yet. So.
The one we see here on the screenshot, by the way, there's an axe, there's a hammer, and there's, I think, 200 maces as well here. It doesn't say what they do, but it's on the screenshot. And these are like the testing names of these, right? So it's... But yeah, the crafting works as we know it with artifacts, right? You have to find the artifact of that weapon, and then you combine it with materials, and then you just craft it at a normal weapons crafter. And these can be made from Avalonian shards, and apparently these drop in the Rods of Avalon, the Avalonian shards. So I think it's like a next level behind Drolix, sort of, right? Does that? I don't know if they're stronger though. Like base IP.
Again, this is all going to be revealed over time. I think what we have to do now, though, Bogul, is talking about. Because I looked at the time. We're really running out here. We have to talk about how they've split the Destiny board.
That's the next part.
Oh, thank God. It's right in front of me. Whew. I love it when they do that and just make it easy for you.
Specialization nodes into 1 node per artifact.
Yeah.
Okay.
That means instead of like, all the artifacts under a line being just 1 artifact node, They now split into one for each weapon, or I'm guessing this will affect armor as well. So that you have to raise each independently now. So, guys, I'm going to give you guys a pro tip.
Uh-oh.
You have until August to level up your artifact to 100. So when these split, you got them all. Okay, boys? And girls?
Buying Tomes of Insight. Bye.
Bogul, remind me to fill out my order forms for the year.
You're ordering Tomes of Insight?
Yeah, I'm ordering some Tomes of Insight.
I don't know if that has an influence on that. That's something as an item I will be watching, but I think we had the announcement a while back that they're looking at splitting these, right? So I think some of the bigger buyers might already have done a bunch of Tomes of Insight.
Yeah, see, well, Bogul, we're already seeing it in chat right now, and I feel like I have to make a statement on this. I know there's more information out there. And a lot of that is behind NDA. So if you could do me the favor of not giving NDA covered information in our chat, I would appreciate that so that I don't have to deal with that conversation later. Thanks. I know that a lot of guilds are part of the NDA testing and that you guys are super excited about these weapons, but we're trying to talk about the ones that are publicly released because a lot of those things on NDA are not finished yet and they're not ready to be disclosed and talked about as what their skills are because they're very likely to change. Just please be aware. And I don't want people getting their hopes up based on things that people are saying in chat on skills that will get changed in the future or have the possibility to get changed in the future. And I'm not going to punish you guys. I understand that you probably aren't even the person who, you just got it from another friend. You probably don't even have access to that. And you're like, what? Oh yeah. All right. Moving on.
I mean, we covered most of it, right? It's these will be split. So if you have 70 spec in your artifact combat now, then you will have 70 spec in all but the new Avalonian one, and that is nice to see. And of course, yeah, I like the tip, and I wanted to, tell people to be cautious about speculation with the Tomes of Insight because there could be some, pump and dump and hype and push and whatever going on. And then on the news post, there's one final word about balancing, that they're looking at doing some more adjustments of the 1 versus 1 combat balance. And there is something on the forums actually. Retromon posts these NDA balance changes, and I think just a little bit ago he updated a little bit more. I just saw that. It's
okay.
I'll link it in chat, so we can show it briefly.
I don't think anybody updates things as much as he does. Like for any of our notes anywhere in the game, I think he is the most up to date on making us all aware of what he's trying to do next, and I really appreciate that with him. He definitely. I don't know of many games where the information on what they're testing next is so available for the players when it comes to skills and weapons. And I think it's awesome how much we try to get the player base involved in trying to test. And you can contact Retroman to become part of the NDA test. And I'm sure he would appreciate that if you do become a member of that test, you do not leak that information live on stream. So... It's you get 5 guys together, including you, 4 more than you, be available on the weekends, around 19 UTC. I think that's when it is, right, Bogul?
I think Quokey on if you go to the official Albion Online Discord, there is Lone Quokey with 2 eyes, playtest organizer, and
Quokey became the playtest organizer.
Yes,
did not know that.
Yeah,
behind the times, man.
For a little while now.
Okay.
And he, I think, is the best one to contact. I'll post it in chat. And then you can get in touch with him, and then But I wanted to briefly show off the NDA balance changes because it's not only the stuff we already knew. The new arcane spell, some changes potential changes to Frost Shot, nerfing it a bit, Magic Arrow, nerfing Warbows a bit. That's what he talked about in the Devtalk, by the way. Holy Staffs, the base here going down a little bit, the self-healing activating faster for both Holy Nature, and what some people have been proclaiming that now is the Cultist Robe. It removes the physical damage immunity, so you're not long immune. Instead, you get resists during the channel, and the duration is reduced if you get hit as well. Combined with some Spectre Jacket true damage changes, which don't stack anymore, which is a big thing for ZVZ. And the Armor of Valor gets some changes too. So that's what he meant, I think, partially with the 1 versus 1 combat balance.
Yeah. There's a lot of cookie cutter isn't the right word. Paper, rock, scissors.
Yeah.
In 1v1. And some of it needs to be changed. Clearly. And Cultist Robe. OP? In
Maybe.
1v1?
Maybe.
Yeah. I mean, like, if it stayed the same, that would be the only option, right? I mean, I've watched a lot of... we did these things where we had battle royals, where people could go out and get just random sets of gear and then fight in these giant battles of just one man left, okay? And whoever got the Cultist Robe won. Every time. The only time there was actually a battle that occurred between two players that it was all even is when two people had the same robe, and actually I believe they had the same bow as well. We need to have that better balanced. And I think that this is a good step towards that. And again, I know he's going to work on making it still viable for people to use. But yeah, the price should go down. And I don't want it to be the only thing that everybody wears. And yeah. And of course, yeah, sabotage is right here. Unless you interrupt it, then it's freaking worthless. Yeah, cool. Could be. But then again, it becomes that paper, rock, scissors. Do you have the ability to interrupt it? No, you lose. Do you have the ability to interrupt it? Yes, you win. Like,
I mean, I think that's what we'll actually do as well here on AlbionTV. We might have to spend some time here on the channel watching some of these 1 versus 1s in the future.
Yeah. I'll say this now, Bogul.
Yeah.
I'm planning to have periods of the day when this releases where I just watch people doing 1v1s on a short delay. Not a full 15-minute delay, because I want to be able to actually talk to the people watching or whatever in a relatively reasonable way. I might even try to find a way to just delay what I'm watching. Or even just drop the names. I might completely drop the names from what we're viewing so people don't.
Well, we will try to figure out some coverage when this goes live, for sure, in August. And until then, I mean, we've been promised a lot more dev talks. So this is just, I'm getting excited, because if this continues at this pace for the next few weeks, I think, I said it last week, but I think we're still in for a bunch of treats.
I know. Bogul, I'm excited because I like it when we know we have news coming.
Yes.
Makes life easy. Yeah, we know we have news coming for the next. When's August?
When is August?
Is
One.
it after July?
Yes, one month and 5 days.
I think that until then, at least once a week, we might get news. Wouldn't that be amazing? Once a week, getting news. I'm just so excited. No, I think we're going to have a lot of news here. I'm just being a little silly here. It's going to be a fun time as we get ready for this. We have the 3-year anniversary coming up. Oh, my God. Bogul.
Busy.
It's 3 weeks.
17th.
Yeah. That's like exactly 3 weeks, right? Give or take a day.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, today.
Cool. Awesome. So 3 weeks from today, guys, is the 3-year anniversary of Albion Online. I better get my act together and make sure I get that event that I'm planning figured out for everybody. Bogul, I gotta go. I gotta go work on that right now. It is 4 minutes before the hour. I only have 4 minutes left of work. I gotta get to work. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back again here tomorrow. Bogul, did I forget anything? Or did I just start going in?
No, we're good.
Shout-outs.
We're good.
Shout outs?
I think some of these need moderation.
Yeah, there's 12 of them. Okay. We'll moderate them, but we will...
yeah.
Oh, wow. Like, geez. Rejected. Okay, we have less shout-outs, guys. Actually, I reject that one.
Nope.
Reject that. Oh, my God.
Worst day ever so far.
Hey, what is more effective to farm fame for gear with 100 specs to farm respec or farm the weapon which you need? So is respec stronger than normal fame?
No. I think it was answered in chat that day, by the way. I think it's the respec is what, 80% of that? And it costs silver. So
and it costs silver, yeah. So I mean there is the idea that if you are trying to gain spec in something that is not easy to fame in, then yeah, it's better to, use, respec. But if it's something that you can actually get fame in and be part of a group and grind out well, just do it the natural way. Just do it. We answered this one, Bogul.
Okay.
It says the new Avalon weapons will have a new spec tree or will be included in the artifacts. They'll have a new spec tree. Yeah. I can't speak French. Sorry. It was about Comedian. We had an interview with him yesterday. It was good. Another one in French. Yo, Shozen, where is my interview? Like, hello, Bob Freeze. I'm interviewing Bob Freeze tomorrow. That's where your interview is. It's tomorrow. Reject Party number 1, the North remembers, and the South forgets. If Sun fights in the North with the Poe Alliance, have they given up their home that was under attack in wetlands? No.
Wetlands. Why? Does anybody know what they give up? Sun 5 out of 5. It's under attack, but what? No, I don't know.
I don't think it's a give up.
No.
What's the dagger tree weapon? We know you know. Yeah.
And you also know that we can't talk about
it. Last one. Don't rent or nap. Newbie is recruiting veterans and new players alike that want to actually fight and not be napped to hell. Oh, napped to half the zone. Newbie has no naps and always fights. We also have special interest groups for every activity type and skill level. Check out www.newbiealliance.com for more information and our Discord link. What is your fun per hour?
I think I saw Newbie today getting smashed.
Yeah, actually, I had some news about Newbie because they did something good in like the Black Zone, and I felt like, wow, that was pretty cool. And so I'll read about it, because like as I said, Brave Newbie went after Last Warn, Take Care, Zoned Out.
Really?
Yeah. They actually held Grave Mound Knoll. I don't know if they still have it.
Grave Mound Knoll. Knoll.
Because they're trying to take down the hideouts there.
No. Everybody's just pounding back on them. No.
Who owns that?
Heroes of Judgment by Arch.
Oh, yeah, they're working with Arch, though.
All right.
So they're kind of working with Arch on that one?
So Newbie's Arch now. Okay.
Oh, God. Is that... Oof. If that gets out there, I think that alliance is over. So Bogul just said, so newbie is Arch now. Do we have a confirmation of that from Albion News 24? I'm sticking around for this answer, Bogul, and then we're leaving.
Do you think there is an answer? Did they think there's an answer to this?
No, I guess we're not getting an answer. I mean, it was a whole 2 minutes since he last replied, so we don't know if he's in chat. We don't know for sure. All right, thank you guys for watching the show. It's been a fun show as always. We love when we get great information like this and we can have fun. There's a whole lot more information going on right now, and you're like, why haven't you covered this? Why haven't you covered that? Why aren't you talking about these things? We're going to try to talk about the thefts next week. I'm going to try to get a little bit of extra information on those, but the other stuff is out of our scope. And if you want to pay attention to that, your best bet is to go right to Reddit and read it for yourself and make your own judgments. I cannot really comment on I would say 95% of what's on fire right now in the world of Albion.
Ongoing investigations and such.
Oh, he told me it's the wrong zone, and we still do have it, Bogul. All right, what's the right zone? Hey, I'm giving these guys the time because, Bogul, you know what Newbie has done for us?
All right. Yes, you're right.
Well, they come on every Wednesday and Friday and help new players get into like the game. And these guys have now tried to push and make a little bit of a way for themselves in the black zone. And I'd like to, I can't pay them. I can't give them gold. I can't do anything nice for them at all. But I can give them 5 minutes of attention at the end of a show.
All right. Wait, that's that's not Newbie. That's Dutch Squad. They look similar.
That's Dutch Squad. They have the same logo there. Cool. Wrong zone. Albion News 24. What is the correct zone as we try to give you information? Like, oh boy, because I have Grave, Mound, Knoll, aiming for the hideouts, going after their staging.
I like how you just read that from like an ancient scroll from like 500 years ago. It's like, well, this is a recipe for disaster.
I'll give you honest. A lot of I do a lot of my notes that I take from players on paper, because I've heard of so many players who keep these long lists of like actions and responses of other players and catalog this stuff, and I find that super creepy. So I try to think of almost every interaction I have with a player as the first one. You have to really screw me over for me to go, yeah, I'm not talking to you. Oh, I got some.
Yeah, I found a desert, Bleachgull Desert. But what's the point of this? You have it, all right? So.
No, the point was is they took this one, and apparently it's the staging area for these two guilds going out in this direction, and they're trying like hell to make it an advance in the black zone. I think we've covered it.
All right.
And they're doing work. Newbies out there doing work. It's a bunch of, these are players that we have helped for the last 4 months get from not playing the game, Bogul, to taking on Last Warren. Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. That's respectable. All right. Yeah. Okay.
All right. That's why we're giving these guys a little bit of credit. I mean, come on. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. You guys all did great. Great ZVZ action on all fronts today. We'll be back again tomorrow with more ZVZ, more Crystal, and more fun. Yay.
Hey, what? Saturday? What time?
Oh, tomorrow?
Yeah.
We're going to be back here around 17:30 to 17:45, somewhere in that zone. It's that soft zone of when does everybody start hitting each other with skills. Like when you guys go out and you group up together, we're not going to go live yet. But as soon as one of you starts smacking the other one, we're going to try to go live. But we're on a 15-minute delay. So that means if you guys start whacking each other half past, we won't be live until 45. But if you start doing at 17:15, we will be live at 17:30. So just get in there around that time. You know, Saturday, everything pops off a little bit earlier. But by 18 UTC, 100%, there will be action live on Twitch TV. Or what? Oh, Bogul.
/Albion Online. And after that, also there is the Crystal League coverage together with Lupac at 20 UTC, where we cover the level 5s.
Nope. Yeah, it's 5, 6, 7s this weekend. So it's at 2015, we will start the stream. At 2030 will be the first match. And we will be there at 2030, 21, and 2130. I think that's it. Yeah, clap around. Wow, we finally did it. We got through an hour-long show. Thank the beans of business. All right, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be back again later, and I'm already I'm getting messages about whether or not you guys are the new Arch yet. This sounds awesome. All right, talk to you guys later. Bye.